Once upon a time, there lived a girl called Achara. She was very beautiful and was always curious about the environment where she lived in. She would often leave home and wander around the village and forest. One day she wandered too far into the deep forest and she met an old woman there who was a spirit but changed into a human form. The old woman approached Achara with a smile on her face and said, "You are a beautiful young girl, but your beauty will fade away with time one day. If you want to remain beautiful, my dear, and young till eternity, I want you to enter inside this palm tree and change into palm oil. When you do that, I'll change you back into your real human form and you'll come out of the tree and you'll forever remain young and beautiful until eternity." Ashara, the young girl, was taken aback. She did not suspect the old woman was a spirit. She gave it a thought to never grow old and continue to remain beautiful forever. Felt was something what it was too good to be true. She looked at the old woman and asked, "Will you really change me back to my human form if I agree?" "Yes, of course. I will, my dear." The old woman smiled enticingly at Achara. Achara believed her with enthusiasm and she agreed. The old woman performed her magic and Achara disappeared into the palm tree. The old woman changed her into palm oil inside the tree. Days passed, months passed, and years passed. The old woman refused to change Achara back to her real self. The old man was a wicked spirit who trapped people inside a tree. They needed only to agree to her wish. Enticing offers at that which she prepared and presented enticingly to the young ones who had no strong sense of reasoning, and she would use them as she wanted. Achara, now changed into oil, continued to be with the old woman who kept on selling parts of her body to people who went to the forest to buy palm oil. Achara was diminishing every day and she kept on begging the old woman to free her, but the old woman refused. She would laugh and say, "Ha ha ha ha, you knave young girl. Do you really think you can keep your beauty and remain young till eternity?" She will ask and add, "No one can find you here. And until this palm tree falls down, you will remain trapped here producing palm oil for me to earn more money." Achara will be crying, knowing her parents must have been heartbroken after much search for her and not finding her. She thought of her other siblings, her brother and sister, and cried a lot. She remembered all the warnings of her parents not to wander far and never to trust strangers, but she had disobeyed them, and now look at where she had found herself. She thought, in this life, it is good to listen and obey one's parents because they have lived longer with much experience of life than us. And they love and want us to be okay. They want to protect us. That is why they always advise us. But we think they are against us and they are after our not having happiness, she thought, crying. Oh, you never know the value of something until you have lost it. Well, in this life, will I ever be able to see my parents and siblings again? She asked herself. 5 years passed, and one day, the old man changed into a human form and decided to go to the market where humans trade. When she had gone, a young palm wine tapper known as Akudo walked up to the palm tree in search of palm trees to tap for wine. He had not seen a good one to tap wine, so he had gone far deep into the forest and was able to see the palm tree. As he stood looking, got close to the one that Achara was standing. Achara was happy to see her, and Achara was in her life. She had never seen any human being that was carrying a sharp machete come so close when the woman was not around. So Achara was happy to see him, and he shouted, "Please help me, help me, help, help." Akudo, the palm wine tapper, turned around, but he did not see anybody. He could not find anyone. He was shocked. She repeated the words again, and this time I could realize the voice was coming from inside the tree near him. "Please, I'm a human being trapped in this tree for 5 years now. Help me to get out by cutting down the tree before the old woman gets back." I could realize a voice was talking inside the palm tree. Akodo himself had some magical powers that he could use to defend himself in time of problem, but he realized the voice was that of a young girl. So he turned and brought out his machete and started to cut down the tree. As cutting it down, the girl started to transform back into a human form, and Akodo shouted, "What?" Then Achara said, "Please be fast before she gets here." So Akudo continued to cut the tree, cut it, and she was transforming. As he gave the last stroke of machete and cut the palm tree down, the old woman returned back to the forest from the market. The palm wine tapper Akudo was able to see her coming, and the anger blazing in her eyes. He sensed there was trouble, so he shouted to the girl, "Run for your life! Run for your life!" As he shouted, Achara turned and started to run. The old woman turned to run after her, but Akudo blocked her. As Akudo blocked her, she turned and started to fight Akudo. As they were fighting, Achara was able to escape. Meanwhile, Achara had arrived home. Her parents, who had lost hope of ever meeting her again after 5 years, were surprised to see her standing at the door, panting. The villagers, her siblings, were gathered. They saw her. They were all shocked. "Where have you been?" they were asking. "Where have you been?" She fell and I was crying, and she started to tell them what had happened. When she tried to tell them what had happened, they could not believe it because the story was too strange to be accepted as truth. But as they were talking, the palm wine tapper Akudo, meanwhile in the forest, was able to fight the old woman, use his magical power to defeat the woman. He came to the scene and was able to tell the family and everyone what had happened. And then they believed what he had said. They were all shocked by what they heard. And from then onwards, everyone sat up and learned a great lesson from what had happened to Achara. Never to trust people, never to wander too far into the forest again. So, the palm wine tapper Akudo was thanked, and from that day onward, Achara never ventured out of the environment again. That is the end of the story. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. I'll be so much grateful if you do that. Also, share the videos and press the notification bell to get my new videos each time I release a new one. Thanks for watching.